Howdy gang, and welcome back to Pool School. In today's episode, I am going to be doing a product review on a very cool chlorine tablet dispenser that I actually used about 6 years ago, and then I came across it again. And stick around at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can have a chance to win one of these sunken treasures. So what do you say we get going? Alrighty, before I go any further, I want to thank you again for watching my channel, watching this video. Please remember to like this video if you do, subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, and please share my channel with everyone you know who owns a pool so that they can save a ton of money by taking care of their pools themselves. Also, don't forget to check out my newest website, POOLSCHOOLER.com. Should be coming across the bottom of the screen right there, POOLSCHOOLER.com. It is my brand new, very exciting, exclusive, membership-only pool, do-it-yourself pool service website where you can have me as your personal pool service consultant and get access to a whole bunch of really cool things. Go check it out, watch the video. I'm not going to go any further on about that. Okay, so about 6 years ago, maybe even longer, I was servicing a client's pool and I picked up a unit online, a chlorine tablet dispenser online that they were having, well, let's say it this way, they were having a tough time keeping chemicals in their pool, even with proper cyanuric acid levels. And so one of the things in Arizona is we have such hot weather and it's so dry that we have a ton of evaporation, which means that as water is evaporating out of your pool, so are the chemicals. So they had floating tablet holders that floated around the surface and they found that they were going through a lot of chlorine. So I came across this product and this is it. It's called a Sunken Treasure, and I'll give you more information about it in a minute. But I came across this product and I said, well, let's get a couple of these and let's try them out, because theoretically what they're supposed to do is you're supposed to put no more than 2 tablets in these, and they go to the sink to the bottom of the pool. All right. They sink to the bottom of the pool, and thus, because the chlorine is not diluting or evaporate or on the surface of the water where it's floating in a floater, that chlorine is not evaporating as fast. So it starts at the bottom of the pool, and as the pool circulates water, that water gets more saturated with chlorine, and it's supposedly a more efficient way of chlorinating your pool to where you end up using less chlorine. Now, I use this product. We had really good results. We put 2 in the pool, and it ended up doing a great job for their pool. So fast forward to last year, and I'm talking with a friend at church, and he says, hey, have you ever heard of this product called Sunken Treasure? And I was like, of course I have. And he goes, I'm actually the guy who's managing the person who created that, and he's selling the products. He said, would you do a product review? I said, of course. And so this is my product review on this product. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about it. First of all, I'm going to give you a link to the Amazon website where you can get these, okay? But when you do, make sure you read all the warnings. These are not meant for vinyl-lined pools or pools with painted surfaces like black bottom pools or surfaces that are painted, or it's not meant for also pools that have PebbleTech. Now, the reason it's not really meant for pools with PebbleTech is because the dye lot in some of the pebbles they use on PebbleTech is so cheap now that it can bleach those pebbles. So this is made for plaster pools, and make sure your plaster is not too old, okay? So read their warnings before you go and buy one of these and throw it in your vinyl-lined pool and bleach out your liner, okay? Because remember, it sits on the bottom of the pool. All right, so read all the warnings and disclaimers. And remember, they tell you to put no more than 2 tablets in each one of these. Okay, so let's talk about this Sunken Treasure product, okay? It comes like this. It comes in 3 colors. This is my favorite. It's a lighter blue, or like aqua blue. There is a white one, and there is also a dark blue one. Now, according to the manufacturer, this is their least favorite because this one, after time, because of the chlorine tablets being inside of it, it tends to fade. The color tends to fade. His favorite is this one, okay? And like I said, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win a chance, or to enter to have a chance to win either a white one of these or a light blue one of these at the end of this video, so stay tuned, okay? So let's talk about this thing. What it is, it's a chlorine tablet holder. It is meant to sink to the bottom of the pool as opposed to sit on the surface where the chemicals can evaporate quicker. And since it's on the bottom of the pool, as the chlorine tablets dissolve, they distribute more widely, starting at the bottom and working their way up. So you get a better saturation. Now, I can personally say that I have experienced that with that one client's pool. People say, well, why aren't you doing that client's pool anymore? They sold their house and moved out of town, and I trimmed my pool service routes down in order to keep this channel going and do all what I do. So that's what I do. That's why I'm not servicing that pool anymore. Anyway, so it's very easy to use. It just twists open. You just twist it and it comes apart. And there's an instruction things in here, okay? Please, please, please make sure you read the instructions and the warnings. How many chlorine tablets? On the back, I'll read it really quick. How many chlorine tablets should you put in the Sunken Treasure? Why does my water chlorine test show low chlorine levels? How many Sunken Treasure units do I need for my size pool? Will I use less chlorine with the Sunken Treasure? And why does the Sunken Treasure sometimes float to the top when the chlorine tablet, the tabs is not fully dissolved, okay? And then they have a place where you can ask questions. And notice right here what it says right there. I'm gonna read it to you. Not recommended for vinyl lined pools or dark plaster pools, as the chlorine may cause bleaching, okay? All right, so when you get one, make sure you read the instructions thoroughly, okay? It's pretty simple. If you look at those, basically no more than 2 tablets in the floater or in the sinker, right? You put 2 in there, you line up the holes, and you click it shut. And then you put it in the pool, it sinks to the bottom, and as the tablets dissolve, once they get to a certain weight level, this thing will float back up to the surface, which tells you it's time to put more tablets in this floater, okay? Now, or in the sinker, I keep saying floater, right? Now, typically, if you're doing two tablets, my friend tells me, the guy who's handling the distributing on these, he says that in his pool, which is a standard play pool, he only uses 2 of these a year, 2 of these, and he puts 2 tablets in each of them. And that's sufficient during the hot summer months. And he has 3 kids, boys, who go and swim all the time, and it handles the chlorine quite well. Anyway, so that's how it works. Very simple, right? Now, what I'm gonna do before I go any further is I'm actually going to take a few of these. He sent me quite a few. Just a quick disclaimer, full disclosure. I am getting nothing financially, no kickback or anything from the sale of this product, and I am not getting any money in any way, shape, or form. I'm not being compensated in any way to do a product review on this product. Now, this is also not an endorsement. This is a product review. I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons about this unit after using it on several of my clients' pools for 4 weeks. So I'm going to put these in a few of my clients' pools. We're going to service those pools for 4 weeks and see how this product does compared to a typical floating chlorine tablet holder. And then I will come back to this video and tell you what I found out, tell you the pros and cons, and from there, I'll show you also, we're going to have a little contest. I'm going to give away one of these and one of these to a couple lucky subscribers, so stay tuned on that. And we'll get back to that, and then I'll put links to the video, to the Amazon website where you can get these. One thing also, people ask, well, how much does it cost? These are not cheap. A typical chlorine tablet floater, a decent one, not the fancy ducky ones or all those kind of cute character ones, but a typical good chlorine floater is going to run you about $14 to $17. This is a bit more. These run just under $30, $29.88 on Amazon, okay? And so they're a little pricier, but I've noticed something about them. If you've ever had a floating tablet chlorinator, you'll notice that the lid, after one season in the sun, gets very deteriorated because of the corrosive material, the corrosive nature of chlorine and water and the evaporation and the sun, and it cracks. So a typical chlorine tablet floater will last you 1 season where the lid and everything works fine, and maybe another season with it kind of just falling apart. So these do last quite a bit longer. Most of these, when I had it in that one particular client's pool, we had them in there for 2 years and they weren't deteriorating, okay? Now, obviously, chlorine is gonna deteriorate plastic, and water will help do that as well as the sun, but it doesn't seem to do it as fast. It's a better quality plastic, I believe. And so it does wear out slower. So keep that in mind. But again, with a price tag of $29.88 per unit, it's not cheap. But you're gonna have to decide after I discuss the pros and the cons, if it's worth it. So I'm gonna go out in the field this week and put a couple of these out into different pools, and then we'll come back in 4 weeks and we'll see what the results were, okay? Alrighty, talk to you then. Alrighty, so I apologize for the noise, but they're doing some work over here. So I'm gonna try and talk over it. So this is one of my clients' pools that I have the Sunken Treasures in. And I'm gonna test the chlorine to see what we've got reading-wise. So our test strip is showing pretty good. We've got a pretty decent amount of chlorine. Bring it to the sun so you can all see it. There you go. So we've got a pretty good chlorine reading for a pool this big, and I've been averaging about 3 to 4 tablets a week in a pool with a deep end. So that's a pretty good sign. But even though sometimes they say that these Sunken Treasures don't necessarily give you a low chlorine reading because the chlorine comes from the bottom of the pool and doesn't float on the surface, you get a less concentrated reading. But that's a pretty good reading, I would say. And it's been like that for about 6 weeks. Alrighty, gang, don't forget that at the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you how you can win yourself a couple of those Sunken Treasure chlorine tablet holders. So, first things first though, I said I was gonna get to you about the pros and cons. So after 6 weeks of using the product, and like I said before, I used the product several years ago when I didn't know that my friend actually was the distributor for this product. Anyway, so it's also based on that as well. And so here we go. So the pros, number one, and I think this is really important, much lower chlorine evaporation rate. So you're gonna use a lot less chlorine, maybe not a ton, but less, maybe 1 or 2 tablets per week savings. And right now, given our current shortage of chlorine tablets, if you didn't know about that, just look on the internet and it'll explain why we have such a shortage of chlorine tablets. But given that it's really hard to find them, and number two, that they've really gone up in price, it's a good time to try to save money on tablets and save tablets. So that's a pro. Number two, it's less likely to get jumped on or like breaking it or hurting somebody who lands on it, and it's less likely to get messed with by kids because it's at the bottom of the pool, and less likely to get retrieved by a pet. Yes, I know dogs who actually jump in the pool and retrieve the floating tablet holders. All right, number three, it does last longer than a floating chlorinator. It just does. It's probably because it's a higher quality. It's a thicker plastic and it sits at the bottom of the pool, so it's not getting cooked on the surface of the pool. And then the last thing, number four, it is super easy to use. And I showed you earlier, remember, you just click it open, pop it out, put your 2 tablets. Remember, no more than 2 tablets in each Sunken Treasure. Click it back, put it in the water, shake it a little bit, and let it sink down to the bottom. But do follow the instructions on the kit, or when you get the unit, all right? So those are the pros. Now the cons, okay, here we go. It is, for sure, more expensive. It's almost double the cost of a typical floater. But since it lasts longer, nearly twice as long, it's pretty much a wash. Also, I'm gonna put a link to the actual website of the person who distributes them, and the website sells them for $1 cheaper than you get them on Amazon. And I'm gonna put a product code because my friend was gracious enough and generous enough to give a product code which will give you $2 off every unit that you purchase. And again, I'm gonna put that in the description below this video, so you can look into that. You can click on the link to go to that website and you can order it. It's saving you $3 compared to if you had ordered it on Amazon, okay? So it's not too bad. Number two, the con number two, it is not for vinyl lined pools or fiberglass pools or painted surface pools. It really is primarily for plaster pools, okay? So do read the instructions, and you know, if you have a PebbleTech pool, you kind of take your own risk, you use it as your own risk because they work with PebbleTech pools. The problem is sometimes the dye lot, and I said this earlier, the dye lot of the pebbles themselves, sometimes they use really cheap dye and they don't do it right. And so that, if the chlorine tablet is sitting down there in that Sunken Treasure on the bottom, it can bleach out and lighten or bleach out those pebbles. So just know that it's really, I don't recommend it for PebbleTech pools as well. And then the third con is It's a little bit tougher to retrieve. A floating tablet chlorinator, you just push it, or usually it's over by the side of the pool, you just grab it. These sink to the bottom of the pool, so you're gonna have to have a net to bring it out of the pool, but that's pretty much it. So what is my overall bottom line? Honestly, if you have a plaster pool, I give this product an A. It's a good product, and I give it an A for plaster pools, like I said, only. But my suggestion is that you don't take my word for it. You go to their website, and I'm gonna put the link below in the description and a product code so you can get a discount, and read their instructions, read about it, read all the questions about it, and see if it's something that you want to try to use, okay? And if you think it might be beneficial for your pool. Personally, I'm very pleased with the results, and I'm gonna keep those units. I have 2 pools that each have 2 units in them, and I'm gonna keep them in there until they completely wear out. And then at that point, I'll see if my clients want to continue using those, at which point I'll get those for them. Anyway, so that's it. Now, let's talk about how you can get a chance to win 2 of these Sunken Treasure units. Alrighty, now I did say at the beginning of this video is I didn't give you a chance to give you an opportunity to have a chance to win one of these units, 1 blue and 1 white. What I decided was, because typically, unless you have a super small pool, you're probably going to use 2 of these in a typical play pool that's anywhere from 12 to 15,000 gallons. So I have a blue one and I have a white one, and I'm going to give them both away to the same person. So here's what we're going to do. Is you're going to email me at my typical email address, and it's going to come across the bottom of the screen again. It's kennypoolschool@gmail.com. Once again, kennypoolschool@gmail.com. And in the title line or the subject line, put Sunken Treasure Contest, or just Sunken Treasure, all right? And then what I will do is I will put those aside. I will not share your email address with anybody. And what I'll do is, at the end of the contest, when the deadline is, and I'll give you the deadline in just a moment, I will choose one person who wins both of these, and then I will send them to you. Now, the big thing is, this is only for people who live in the continental United States. I can't ship these out of the country or overseas. It's just too expensive. And so this is just for the continental United States. So if you live in the continental United States, you can enter this contest. So again, email me at kennypoolschool@gmail.com, put in the subject line, Sunken Treasure Contest. And here's the deadline. Do it by the end of July of 2021. That is this year, okay? The end of July of 2021. And on August 1st of 2021, I will choose a name of the person who will win these 2 units, okay? So make sure you do that. And that's about it for the contest. So I hope this video made sense. I'm sorry it was a bit long, but it is kind of a lot to talk about with the product. And I was trying to figure out how to make it so that you guys could understand how the product works. And again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below this video. Or, as always, you can email, and I've already given you my email address. It's kennypoolschool@gmail.com. Now remember, I get so many emails and so many comments, it's very hard to get back to everybody. If you want priority response time from me, may I suggest that you check out my new membership website, www.poolschooler.com. Again, poolschooler.com. It should come across the screen right here. And check it out, watch the videos, see all the cool things that I give you as a member of poolschooler.com. Alrighty? So that's my video on the Sunken Treasure products. Remember, for a plaster pool, I give it an A. It's a great way to save money on chlorine tablets, and they last a long time, and it keeps the chlorine out of the reach of kids, unless they can swim to the bottom of the pool. Then make sure that they don't swim to the bottom of the pool and get the floater or the sinker, okay? Anyway, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to enter the contest. The contest deadline is July 31st of 2021, and you must be a resident of the continental United States in order to receive the prize. And then remember also that on August 1st, I will make the drawing, or I'll draw the name of the person who wins it. I will notify you directly, and I will send those to you. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, have fun, be safe, and always, always, always watch those kids and elderly folk and pets around water. And I will see you next time.